Hi, and welcome to XP Waste, where 73 is more than just a number. I'm Michael.
And I'm Oxie.
Hello, Oxie.
Hi.
So, we were talking about this earlier, obviously, but you could either go by Oxie, you could go by Matt. What are your thoughts on this?
I think they're pretty interchangeable. I don't know. Like we said earlier, Michael and Matt has a really good ring to it, but Michael and Oxie sounds unique.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we'll just flop back and forth. Again, Michael and TBD sounds like a pretty solid podcast intro. I'll just change my name every week. Nobody will actually know.
I was going to say earlier, the year I was born, the name Michael was the most common male name.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Matt was up there as well. As far as like cool names, I think you should go by Oxie.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Like we said, Matt is the most like stereotypical, just average at everything, mid-20s white dude name. Which, like, again, if you look at me, that's pretty accurate.
That's you, right?
that's pretty accurate to who I am. But like, Oxy works.
Cool. So we wanted to take this time, introduce ourselves to you, the listener, and so you can get a kind of a sense for who we are. I don't know. You can go first. I go first. You want to flip a coin? It's up to you, man.
You're pretty well versed in podcasts, so I'll let you kind of take the wheel and definitely just follow suit. Yeah.
Awesome. So my name's Michael. Like I said at the top of the episode, I have been playing RuneScape. I want to say since like 2005. If you go to RuneScape 3, my original character has the 15-year cape. So that puts me at this year being 16 years of playing. And if we go back 16 years, 2005. It's honestly, it's been off and on. You never really quit. You just go AFK. And that's kind of the story of me when it comes to RuneScape. Old School Runescape started in 2016 pretty regularly playing my main account. And my main goals in the game, really just to get it maxed. Not too far off. I mean, 2,100 total at this point. So yeah, Oxie and I's playstyle when it comes to RuneScape and the podcast is appropriately named. We're pretty inefficient and we like that about ourselves, right?
Damn right we are, dude.
XP waste is kind of the thing that I do when it comes to playing the game. So, you put 3,000 hours into a game, you'd think you'd be max, but not me. Not yet anyway.
Yeah, that's a mood. I guess it's my turn for the intro. I played RuneScape a lot as a kid. Holy shit, I was bad at it. But again, like we said, adequately named title, XP Waste. When you're training on the White Knights of Falador with like a granite maul and a rune longsword, that's like the definition of XP Waste. But yeah, I've been playing for a while. I started back the day the game came out on mobile. I started playing because prior to that point, I thought Old School was fake. I thought it was a private server.
Oh no.
I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like that looks cool, but I'm not gonna play a fake RuneScape. That's pretty stupid. And then when I saw it in the App Store, I was like, developer Jagex, and I was like, oh my god, I know that company. And I got into it, and I also played pretty inefficiently until I met you guys. I was not good at the game. Like, had you told me back when I met all you guys, like, you figure the first person I met from TNL, I met him back in like April of 2020. And if you'd have told me in April of 2020, by this time, in like less than a year, you'd be like seriously considering the Inferno, I'd be like, yeah, you're full of shit.
I was gonna say you've done TOB and I have not, so there's that.
You have done TOB. You kind of got your bloody corpse got dragged through TOB, but you still did do TOB. I heard you got a cabbage at the. I heard you got a cabbage at the end, and then it's like...
I still have the cabbage. I mean, yeah, that's kind of us in a nutshell. We are inefficiently efficient.
Well, yeah. Again, efficient is a strong word. We know how to be efficient. We just don't.
We choose not to. We just choose not to.
We enjoy playing the game how we want to play it. And
exactly.
It's actually been a lot of fun doing it that way.
That's a great segue, Oxie. You know why? Because the thing we wanted to talk about today was RuneScape burnout.
Indeed.
The reason that we have both avoided burnout is our playstyle. At least for me. I don't know if I can speak for you in this realm, but the fact that I can be 3,000 hours into the game and still wake up every day and be like, yeah, I could log in, is a testament to not burning out.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like I do a lot that like I get burnt out of activities that I enjoy doing, like bossing, for example. I can get really into a boss like Vorkath or Zulrah, and then after like 3 days, I'm like, no. But I move on to something else, like
Moving
something
on.
else that I
Yeah.
want to do.
Yeah.
So the feeling of like having to do something in a game or playing the game competitively has never been fun. So having to like,
Mm-mm.
just like relax and do whatever and like meet the goals that I want to meet, how I want to meet them, that's definitely what keeps me going and keeps me
Yeah.
motivated to play.
Like going for ranks. You love that. That's the thing
Oh
that
god, that's
that
my favorite thing in bossing.
yeah, but it's not to the detriment of your enjoyment,
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah, like I'll get ranked in bosses, as I go along. Like it's my goal to be ranked in every boss. Like I've been a boss like Vorkath, I've been ranked in since I finished Dragon Slayer 2. Like I think within a day of doing DS2, I got ranked in Vorkath and got my
Easy.
assembler, all that. Um but a boss like God, let me look at my high scores. Bandos, still 4 or 5 kills off from getting ranked. Just because like I don't know. I go with when you go with like 6 people, the bandos, it's hard to
Yeah.
snipe
It's
kills.
hard, it's hard to get the kills.
Exactly. I would rather die than seriously grind Calphite Queen.
Ugh. Ugh.
And then a
We could
boss
talk about
like
that later.
oh my god, I have a whole episode of how much we just despise KQ. Um, and then a boss like the Inferno.
Is it
I'm
two,
so
right?
far away from even finishing the Inferno.
Two
But
attempts for Eternal or Inferno, right?
yep, 2 kills.
2 kills. Okay.
Mimic and Inferno, I think, are the only ones that require only 2 KC to get ranked.
Dude, that may change now that they introduced the 6 Jad challenge. Some people can go in there and practice killing multiple Jad and be like, hey, you know what? I can do Inferno. And then they get
The
more people with Inferno capes.
the only way to get to the multiple Jads though is to have an Inferno cape.
Oh, I mean, that's
Yeah.
smart.
So
That's smart.
because I fought the first 2 yesterday, and I don't know how we got on the topic so quickly, but like Inferno is the topic that I fear for burnout. Like I did 2 Jads. It
Oh.
took me 9 attempts.
Oh, wow.
For 2 Jads, and I was able to like go in, die, resupply, and go right back into
Right
double
back.
Jad.
Yeah.
I just don't even want to think about how demotivating it's gonna be to get to triple Jads and like miss a flick and die.
How long does it take to get to triple Jads?
If you're playing it safe and you're not trying to speed run, like 2 hours.
No way.
Yeah, like when I first did the fight caves, and from what I've seen online, slow is better because you're safe spotting, you're saving supplies, you're doing what you need to do to have the most possible supplies going into Zuck. And it's going to be about 2 hours. It took me about an hour and 15 to get my first fire cape because I safe spotted everything.
Right.
That said, once you get better at it, you can safe spot it. You're more confident with what you can and can't tank. Like right now, my PB for Jad is like 30 minutes and 50 seconds or something like that. So
that's really good.
Yeah, I love it. It's such a fun activity to speedrun the fight caves, but I'm terrified of the Inferno because like, dude, you died at triple Jads after 2 hours. That's so
Demotivating. Yep.
And like I was thinking about it earlier. I'm worried about the Inferno because on the topic of burnout, I'm worried I'm gonna get the cape and then just like not gonna want to play the game anymore.
Really?
Because I'm fully anticipating that cape taking me 2 months to get.
Nothing's saying you can't take a break.
Yeah, that's true. But like, once I'm in it, I'm in it. Like if I've got my mind on it, I just like kind of want to do it. And I feel like that's something that I might need to change if I don't want to burn out from doing the Inferno.
Yeah.
Because, it's happened to me in the past. Like the last big burnout that I had was after I got my Barrows gloves. I've told you the story, right? The recipe
No.
for disaster.
No.
One day I was streaming in like, God, it was like spring 2019.
Twitch.tv/OxieM17.
Indeed, that is I. Twitch.tv/Bloodhound RS.
Underscore RS.
Michael. Underscore RS.
Thank
My
you.
apologies. Damn it, Oxie. Save your plugs to the end of the episode. So I was streaming, just like doing random Slayer. And like when I say inefficient Slayer, I mean I had like not full dragon because I couldn't afford it.
Oh my gosh.
It was
Were you
like,
killing cow fights with a rune scimitar or something?
Oh god, no. It was like dragon longsword.
Oh gosh.
Dragon plate legs. Dragon med helm because there's no way I could have afforded a black mask. Proselyte chest piece. Killing black demons in the catacombs.
Nice.
If you've ever meleeed black demons in the catacombs,
I do.
from
Often
like a Neve or a Kaldar task, or a Konar task, God forbid, it's like 200 black demons.
Yeah.
Without extending them. It's so long. That task took me like 3 days. So of course I was streaming it because like what else do you do? And someone popped in. They were a max level player, really up on the high scores. And they're like, "Where are your Barrows gloves?" I said, "Oh, I don't have those yet." They're like, "What the heck?" So we got to talking, and the player definitely helped me become a little bit more efficient. But they're like, "You have 2 weeks to get Barrows gloves. Like that's your new goal. I don't care what you're doing right now. You have 2 weeks to get Barrows gloves." And I'm like, "Fuck, dude. Okay, fine." I had so many requirements. I didn't have the thieving level. I didn't have the cooking level. So I spent 2 weeks busted it. I was skilling. I was training prayer. I was cooking. I was stealing from them fruit stalls in Hosidius to get my levels up. And then the week I did Recipe for Disaster, I did 4 streams prior, back to back to back. And we did Heroes Quest, Legends Quest, Monkey Madness 1, and Desert Treasure. Because those were the 4 big ones I needed.
You need all of those quests to get Barrows gloves?
You need all 4 of those quests.
It's been a long time since I've got Barrows gloves, by the way.
You technically only have to have started Legends Quest to get into the jungle, but I was like, fuck it. If I'm going to start it, I'm going to finish it. So I had all those quests done. All of those streams, I had like record high viewership for me. It was like 6 to 8 people, which was like unheard of for my streams. And I decided at the beginning of the week, like, you know what? I'm going to cosplay RFD. So I'm going to dress as the Lumbridge cook and do Recipe for Disaster. I got the costume. I got the face paint for the beard. I was decked out full Lumbridge cook for RFD. I was telling people about it. I was giving progress updates. Everyone was hype as shit for RFD. The day comes around. It was the last day of the week. It was a Friday. And I was like, we're going to do RFD start to finish. For 5.5 hours, I streamed in full costume for 0 viewers.
No!
Nobody showed up to RFD.
No.
Like, I think my mod popped in one time and was like, hey, I'm going to be lurking. And, like, I had, like, no chat interaction the entire time. From, like, goblins to Awogegi, nothing.
Oxie, no.
So I got Barrows gloves and was like, okay, cool. We're going to go send a raid. Good night, everyone. Like send a raid on Twitch. I fuck, dude. There's no way I was doing chambers back then. Yeah, like
I thought you meant chambers.
God, no, dude. I don't even think I had like 60 Slayer at the time, let alone, Cox ready.
Right.
And I was like, cool. That killed all my motivation to play. I don't think I played from the day I got Barrows gloves up until like January 2020.
Whoa.
Because I just had put so much work in and I just felt so burnt after that experience that I was like, this sucks.
I feel you, man.
I've played pretty consistently since January 2020.
Yeah.
So I think for me, the big part of burnout is doing stuff you enjoy and having goals. And then also having friends that's super fucking sappy. But like that definitely is what is a big motivator. Is like having people to hang out with, when you have to go from like 68 to 77 rune crafting, if you're not in a VC, you're gonna want to push yourself off a bridge.
Yeah.
So
or you watch Survivor like I did.
Yeah, or like having something else to do. It's so weird. Like I want to play RuneScape, but I don't want to do it at like I don't want to be focused on
I don't
this
want to
still.
I don't want to discount the statement about friends though, because
Hmm.
that definitely has kept me motivated to play RuneScape for the last year.
Yeah.
Because my RuneScape experience pre finding you guys has been like I'll play RuneScape for a month or two and then I'll stop and then I'll play Minecraft and then I'll play I'll play Destiny and like bounce around from a
Hmm.
bunch of games, which nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But
Please play other games besides RuneScape, or you're gonna want to never play
please,
the game again.
please. But in the last year, finding my the hobby of streaming and finding this clan, the friends I have on Discord now, yeah, that's definitely kept me from burning out. For me, like if and I'll just go back to my latest burnout. 2019 didn't play very much until like probably October. Um, maybe this was 2018. You know what? This is 2018. What year is it? 20 Yeah, 2018.
2021. Yeah.
2021.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my goodness. So 2018, I decided for myself that I was going to get 93 Slayer because at that point the biggest goal for my account was to get the diary cape. It was like, okay, I want to get 93, eventually want to get 95. It seems like a pretty good goal because a lot of the other diary steps that I had thought of, I was like, oh, I can boost for those, but I can't boost for Slayer. That's one that you cannot boost for. You have to get 93.
Hmm.
I was like, okay, well, I'll go for 93 Slayer. I went from 85 to 93 straight. Did not do anything else in the game.
That's disgusting.
It legitimately took me probably 6 to 8 months of just logging on for an hour or two, maybe max like 5 to 10 hours a week just to do a Slayer task, go kill some Abbey demons. I was that guy who was meleeing black demons in the catacombs because I was already 99 range and 99 magic. So I was like, I gotta get my combat stats up.
Hmm.
So 6 to 8 months. And then from there, I literally quit until I found you guys and started streaming again. So I don't know. I can't remember when I got 93 Slayer, but it had to have been at least the second half of 2019 and into 2020 that I didn't play RuneScape because I was just so burnt out from 6 to 8 months of Slayer and not having a goal for myself after that. That was the big thing. Was I had this huge goal set in mind. I'm super motivated. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna log on when I can. 93 Slayer is the number I want to hit. And then once I got that, I literally had nothing to fall back on.
And that's another thing about goal setting and burnout. It's like you can set yourself a big goal. Like right now, my biggest goal for the year is the Infernal Cape. Obviously, someone's gonna be like, "Oh, well, you can just buy your Infernal Cape," but if you're not cheating, the Infernal Cape is like the single biggest PVM achievement you can get
Mm-hmm.
in the whole game.
Yeah,
Pets are RNG cosmetics, but like the cape, that's
that
work.
takes work.
You
Yeah.
know, so I really want to get the cape by the end of the year, but like I have a lot of smaller goals prior to the cape, so like I'm
Right.
not sending Inferno runs every day. Like I got to get 99 in like four different combat stats. I got to make like 2 bill over the next several months,
Oof.
which like sounds pretty daunting, but the way I've been making money these past few months and like actually doing bossing, it's been pretty steady. So I'm thinking something like that that's not unattainable, which is pretty cool. Uh, I'm one Slayer level off of the goal I set myself. I just hit my short term goal of all base 90 combats. So like big goals are awesome, but smaller goals to keep you from going crazy with that big goal
Yeah.
are definitely
Are
worth
their
it. Like
key.
yeah, and like they can still be pretty big. Like I went from I think 85 to like I just hit 90 like a couple hours ago actually. 90 Slayer. Um but there was enough other things for me to do that like I didn't just do Slayer straight through.
Good. I
And
would not recommend it.
it felt really attainable. And I think that's part of what keeps people going from burnouts. At least what keeps me going, because holy shit, dude.
Well, I was gonna say like the events that we've been hosting have
Mm-hmm.
kept me really engaged and like not getting hyper focused on one thing.
Mm-hmm.
The events we've been having, the ability to skill hop, I think is a huge thing when it comes to like attaining your goals, yes, but not getting burned out halfway through. Looking back, I should have gone and said, okay, I want to get 93 Slayer. I don't really have a time frame for it, but that's my goal. And then from there, you know, hey, let's learn to raid, or let's get base 80s in the along the way, instead of going, I'm going to do nothing else but get in a Slayer assignment after Slayer assignment and just get 93 Slayer, because that burned me out, man.
Yeah.
I'm taking a look right now at our Discord channel for the RuneScape goals,
Mm-hmm.
and I like how you have yours set up. Yours is short-term goals, get base 90 combats. How close are you to that, by the way?
I need to spend some unknown amount of money on prayer, and I have all 90. Because right now, like, I just hit. I've been leveling like a madman these past
Yeah.
couple of days with bingo. I just hit 97 hit points. I just hit 94 mage last night.
Yeah.
90 attack was the first couple of days of bingo. So I've been riding that goal pretty well.
Nice.
The 91 Slayer, like I said, I just hit 90. So
You just hit 90?
I have
Was it like 550,000 or something?
It's like I've got like 521k
Okay.
left until 91, but like
Which is honestly, dude, like you can do it. It's not that it's
it'll
so
come
close.
with time. Like I just did my
Yeah.
first ever Dark Beast task while we were talking, and I got 3600 XP for it. So I'm like, damn, we're gonna be here for a while. Which is another good thing. Like, have a reason for your goals to prevent burnout. Like,
that's good.
If you think like I want an Infernal Cape, why? I don't know. Like, I want it, but I don't know what I'm gonna use it for. But the short-term goals of base 90 combat stats and 91 Slayer are for the combat diaries.
Oh.
If and when they ever come out, So in 2027, when the combat diaries and the clan system finally release.
Winter of 2018.
Exactly. When that all finally comes out, like, I want to be ready, because I am a hoe for untradeable cosmetics.
Ooh.
And I really want the Jad Slayer helmet.
Oh.
I really want the Jad Slayer helm, and it's a reward from the elite tier. And they said in the poll blog that like an example of elite tier requirements would be base 90 combat stats and 91 Slayer. Okay. So I've been like, yes, that is it. That's my goal before combat achievements come out.
So your other goal, base 80s for short term, how close are you to that?
Oof.
We're taking a look right now.
Pretty far away from that one. Skills I still need to get to 80. Holy shit, I'm looking at it right now.
Let's see. Let's count them out.
Rune crafting, 1. Agility, hunter, mining, smithing, fishing, woodcutting. So 8. I'm 8 skills
7?
away from base.
I counted
80s.
7. Is that 8 or 7?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I also need to learn how to count before I get base 80s too. That would help. But yeah, and
7, that's not bad.
It's not bad, but
I'm gonna log in real quick and see, because I'll tell you one of my goals, much like your short-term goal, I want to get base 90s. So I'm gonna read them off. So I think honestly, I think we're the same. So I have rune crafting, agility, mining, smithing, fishing, hunter, and woodcutting.
Those are the exact same skills.
No way.
I just listed out. Those are all of the exact same skills.
And I mean, like, an even shorter term goal for me is base 85s, which I'm very, very close to. I just need hunter, agility, mining, and fishing. And then I've got it. So
that's another thing to prevent burnout, is like smaller goals to meet small goals to meet even smaller goals, or whatever size order that goes. That's fine too. Like right now, I could say my short-term goal is base 70s, which would force me to get off my ass and get those last two rune crafting levels
Is
to
that all you need?
finally have base 70. Yeah, I'm
There you go.
68 rune crafting. And Orania Altar is actually pretty chill with the teleport and NPC contact. It's just when you think about it as a whole, you look at like the Fremenic Elite Diary, and the only thing I have left to do is the Astral Rune step with 82 rune crafting. I'm like, oh my god, that's so long. But like, so when you look at it, sometimes you look at it from like too big of a scale,
Yeah.
and you're like, I'll never get this done. And you burn out in the opposite way. Instead of doing too much, you're just like, I don't even want to bother. And then you just find yourself not playing anymore.
Yeah, because like you could say, I want to get base 99s, but that sometimes can just be super unrealistic in the sense of your playstyle. For me, like you said earlier, small goals meets small goals meets small goals.
Mm-hmm.
And that's honestly how I'm going to max my account. Is I'm going
Yeah.
to say, okay, base 85s. Let's work on that. Skill hop around. Okay, we got base 85s. Let's get base 90s. Skill
Mm-hmm.
hop around. And then from there, I don't know, base 92, get halfway in every skill.
Yeah, halfway
Or
there.
base 95 maybe. Like, just take it in increments of 5 and then you'll be maxed. It's that easy, guys.
Which, like, yeah, the way we say it just sounds like super nonchalant, but like you can apply that to anything. So like maxing is like the ultimate goal for players, but like let's look at the Infernal Cape. Like big goal, Infernal Cape.
Mm-hmm.
Smaller goal, 99 hit points, magic, defense, range, which sound difficult, but I'm pretty on track to get there. And like
Yeah.
just doing combat, you'll get that XP anyway, with Slayer and bossing and all that. Um, Another goal, which is kind of smaller and goes into that, again, smaller for the scope of my account. Get ranked at TOB.
How many
That'll
is that?
help with.
Is that 50?
That's 50 for TOB. I have
Okay.
one KC so far, but
We're
once
twins.
you run Theater of Blood 50 times, notably once you beat P3 Verzik 50 times,
Yeah.
about you can
Mechanics.
prayer
You got the
switch.
mechanics down.
You've got prayer switching, you've got inventory management and like when to eat and when to not so you don't get killed.
Mhm.
You've got environmental factors like the tornadoes and shit like that to look out for. Another goal is learning the corrupted gauntlet, which like again, these things don't sound like they match up at all. They all sound like separate goals, but if you all have these little tiny goals to just progressively get better at PVM, by the time you step into the Inferno and you know how to prayer flick and manage supplies and like I said, know when to eat, know when to freeze things. And of course, research goes into this as well, but like these smaller goals are all leading up to this one big thing.
Mhm.
And while I think about the Inferno at least 2 or 3 times a week, because it's the most daunting thing I've ever done in the game, I know there are other things that I can work on to get better at it.
Yeah. Dude, if you can do the Inferno, you can do anything.
And it's the scope of your account. Like I have a friend who has like just gotten back into RuneScape, and she's like, well, what do I do? What do I do? And she's making lists of all this stuff to do, and it's a great example of like, here's what I'm gonna do today. Like yesterday she did like Ghosts Ahoy, Animal Magnetism, and Temple of Ikov because she wanted to train range. And that's awesome. Like those are like for the scope of your account, that's a hell of a lot of progress.
Yeah, it's good.
So if your long-term goal is Barrow's gloves and you've got a bunch of smaller goals of like 53 thieving for desert treasure and like motivation to not jump off a bridge doing legends quest, like like those are all good things to keep in the back of your mind. So keep the scope of your account in mind as well, because if you're not even base 50s and you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna max by the end of the year, you're gonna quit by October.
For sure. That was a good bow. A good bow on the topic of burnout, because we could honestly talk for another 3 hours about our burnout stories and what we have experienced and what our goals are. Like, we love RuneScape, dude. Like, we could talk for hours on this, but I think we've got a good I think we
Mhm.
got a good grasp on that as a whole.
Yeah, set goals, make friends,
Yep.
please play other games.
Yep. Yeah, if we
You
had
know,
to give you like a bullet point.
that's probably the big thing.
In a
Like
nutshell.
before leagues came out, I don't think I played RuneScape for like 3 weeks. I was so burnt out. I'm just like, I'm gonna
Yeah, I
play
remember
literally
that.
anything else,
I remember
and it
that.
was so helpful. So absolutely,
Yeah.
set goals, make friends, play other games.
So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back after this. This episode of XP Waste is sponsored by Zaf's Staffs and Varrock. Have you been looking for a quality magic staff but can't seem to find anything that meets your high standards of quality? Well, look no further than Zaf's Staffs. Zaf offers a wide range of options to cater to all magic levels. Whether you're looking to slay your first goblin or take on the Inferno, Zaf has a staff that is right for you. Listeners who mention XP Waste when shopping with Zaf will receive 5% off their entire purchase.
That's it?
So head over to Varrock and visit Zaf for all your staff needs. All right, welcome back. So we wanted to transition a little bit from the seriousness of RuneScape burnout and, all of that kind of stuff into something fun. And we thought, what better to talk about than some of our favorite pets? And we could even go into some of our least favorite pets because that could be as equally as fun. For the sake of time, we're going to throw out a top 5. And Oxie, we didn't clear this with each other, but do you want to break it up of like, let's give you a rundown of our favorite boss pets, scaling pets, or do you just want to do all of them together? What do you think?
Well, let's do all of them together because there are a lot of skilling pets that I like just as much as boss pets.
Okay, cool. Let's address the elephant in the room. For those of you who don't know, for listeners out there who don't know me, my in-game name is Bloodhound, spelled with 2 O's each time. And the reason my name is Bloodhound is because I got spooned the Bloodhound pet at 1KC Master Clues. I'm just going to get that out of the way. And I think it goes without saying that my favorite pet in the game is the Bloodhound pet. Oxie would agree.
Would agree that it's your favorite, yeah.
So with that being said, I think I can just establish that's an automatic number 1. So I'm going to pick another number 1 besides the Bloodhound, for me at least.
Okay.
But I'll let you go first. Let's start at number 5. What do you think is your number 5 all-time favorite pet?
My number 5 all-time favorite pet, honestly, and this might just be my bias left over from leagues, I kind of like Rocky, which is crazy because I despise thieving. but I think Rocky's pretty cool, and like his transmogs aren't super difficult. They're not really expensive, and they're just like, nice little subtle changes. Like you've got the normal like North American raccoon. You've got the red panda looking transmog, and then you have that kind of like more grayed out tone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the pet's really well done, and I think it's a good reward from a skill that I just can't stand. Nothing about thieving is fun. Number 4, I think I'd have to say Abyssal Orphan. Again, call me a little biased with the Abyssal Orphan.
Just a little bias.
Because the other day I got it on I don't even think I have 220 KC at Sire yet. I think I have like 211, something like that. I'm like 3rd on Sire, and I got the pet. So I think he's adorable.
It is pretty cool. Like straight up, they just give you an Abyssal Demon that follows you. Yeah, I think that's an amazing version, because if you had that fat little bastard following you around,
oh my god! If it was,
I don't think I would like it.
If it was Sire, I'd be disgusted. But the fact
if it was,
that
that's what I mean.
Demon,
If it was
I'm
Sire,
stoked about. Yeah, I'd say number 3. I think Vorky's gonna come in at number 3. He's a cool looking pet. Who doesn't love Vorky? Number 2, again, definitely a hard bias. Tuzrek Jad, love that pet. Absolutely love the Jad pet. Again, kind of got spooned at 4KC, but I love it. And then for me, I'm like, I don't know if this is like a concrete number one. It might change in the future. Venenatis. I don't know what about
Really?
Venenatis is just so intriguing to me. I don't know if it's her name. I don't know if it's how she looks. I don't know if it's the fact that she'll clap your ass cheeks in like 2 game ticks if you are not paying attention. But I want that pet so bad, and it is like my number one favorite pet. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh my god, yes, there you are.
The spider
Soon.
one, right?
Yeah, that's the spider in the wilderness.
I don't know that I've actually seen that pet very much walking around.
Well, I mean, I feel like not a lot of people would go for it. It's like right on the cusp of level 30 wilderness. It's in multi combat.
Wildy pets are pretty rare.
Yeah.
Like I don't see like the Vedion pet very often. And that may just be because people get it and they're like, this is kind of silly, but yeah, that's cool, man. I would not have pegged you for having Venenatis as your number one.
Oh my god, Venenatis, she's one of my favorite bosses to fight. She's really difficult, and you absolutely have to like abuse game mechanics to kill her effectively. Like tanking Venenatis is like a 60-40 chance of dying.
Oh dang.
But yeah, I think she's wonderful, and that is the pet hunt that I am like committed to. I love that pet so much. How about you? Hit me with your top 5.
Okay. So we're excluding the Bloodhound. So this is going to be. I'm just gonna like in my mind. I'm moving my number 2 to my number 1 already. So coming in at number 5 would be the Jad pet. I think it's not common enough to where you get annoyed with seeing it all the time, but it is pretty. I have seen it quite a bit. Which if you see it all the time and you don't hate seeing it, I don't personally have it. I'll just be honest with you. My top 5, I don't have a single pet in my top 5. We're just gonna get that out of here. Get that out of there because the only pets that I really do have, is the Bloodhound pet and the Rocky. I have Kraken, but we don't acknowledge that.
You have an unfounded hatred of Kraken, but we can get into that.
Yes. So Jad pet number 5. Oh gosh, let's see. I'm looking at the list because it's hard to say because I don't have any of these. So really, maybe number 4. Okay, I got it. Number 4, Hydra. It is a cool pet.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you have 4 different versions is pretty neat. And I love the character model for the Hydra, and I'm glad that they just shrinked it down.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those that I'm like, yep, you did good with the shrink down. There's others that they did not do well with the shrink down. So Hydra's at number 4. Number 3 is going to be the Callisto pet. I love that little cub, and I wish I had that pet so much. And one day I'll sit in the wilderness and get it because I'm determined. It's one of the ones I really, really want. Now, my number 2 and my number 1, it's a huge toss up, and I don't know which one I want more. So I'm going to flip a coin in my mind and say my number 2 is KBD. Little KBD, what is it? Prince Black Dragon is the official name. Prince Black Dragon, so cute. Love that pet. It's a very classic boss. Like I venture to say, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but KBD was the first boss in RuneScape. I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think because it came out in like 2000. Is that 2002 or 2004?
So that brings me to my number 1, which is Tangleroot. I am in love with that pet, and I am nearly 16 million farming XP, and I don't have it, and I'm very sad. So they have the it looks like they have the number of players, I think, that have each pet listed on the wiki.
Yeah.
I want you to guess. What do you think is the most rare pet right now?
I think because I just looked at the list the other day, is it the Hunlith pet?
Close.
Yeah.
You're very close. That one's number 3.
Yeah, then I'm not sure. Because I don't know
It's
if
going
they
to be the
count.
Nibbler.
Oh, well, that's not surprising at all that it's the Nibbler.
Yeah, that's the Inferno pet, right?
Yep, that's the Inferno pet,
Wow.
which is a pet I don't care about. I have a much bigger list of like pets I like if I get them, cool, but like I have no like I'll get them by accident, you know?
Yeah.
Like Nibbler is one of them I'll get by accident. Thermy, this is gonna piss a lot of people off. Omelette, like I just whatever, dude.
It's ugly, dude. He's like a little skinny
I
little
don't like the
bitch.
way it walks on its leg. I don't fucking like the way it walks, dude.
No, dude.
That's
And
like
she's a dragon.
RuneScape.
Why is he on 2 legs?
That's RuneScape heresy. Cause like people love the Chambers pet, but like
That's so
eh.
weird.
I don't like dislike them though. Like the only pets that I can't stand, I don't like the Penance Queen very much, but it's got mad respect because you have to play a lot of BA to get it.
And that's the fifth rarest pet.
Yeah, I don't like the Calphite Queen because I think Calphite Queen is disgusting.
Oh, let's get into this. Okay, so let's do a top 3 worst pets in your opinion. If you've got them ready, go ahead. I can give you mine.
All right. Top 3 like worst pets.
Yep. Like pets you would just not insure.
Pets that I would go uninsured kick the KBD with. Let's see. I've never played Soul Wars, so I have like I don't even think I played it back in the day. So I have no attachment to the little creator.
I think it's a cool looking pet though.
Okay.
That's you.
That doesn't really have anything going
if
for
you got it though, would you insure it?
I mean, I feel like I'd insure all the pets. I'd even just
really?
I'd insure the Calphite princess.
Okay.
But I wouldn't let her roam around my house. I'd keep her in a box somewhere. Like I wouldn't. I don't know. If you can't tell what my number 1's gonna be already. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the little creator just because I have no attachment to it. Not a big fan of the Penance Queen because I don't like big pets.
See, this is where we would disagree.
Yeah, even like the Abyssal Orphan is like twice the size of the pets that I have.
Yeah,
but I love Abyssal Demons as a Slayer monster, so for me it gets a pass. But like we said earlier, if it was Sire, I'd have tossed that bitch in the incinerator.
Yeah, no, freaking get out of here.
But so yeah, definitely Calphite Princess comes in as my like least favorite pet.
Yeah, number 1 least. My top 3 is going to be number 3, definitely the heron, because that is a terrible choice for a fishing pet. I would have rather seen a floppy little fish, or like I don't know. Let's have a shark that just swims through land. Like, can we get a little bit more creative here? I would legitimately not insure the heron pet. It's not even worth the $500K to me. Number 2, rock golem. I think that is also a terrible decision for a mining pet. And number 1, kraken. Worst pet in the game. I have it insured. I haven't died with it, so luckily it hasn't cost me $1 million. But oh my goodness.
So elaborate for a moment why you despise the kraken pet so much.
They took a cool boss that has like they took a cool looking boss and just shrunk it down. And it's this tiny little wiggly little squid that just follows you. And I'm like, you could have made it. I mean, I'm giving criticism without any sort of constructive feedback here. I don't know what you can do to make the Kraken look better. Maybe make it bigger. I think that's my biggest quarrel, is that it's just tiny. You have something that's 2 stories tall and that can rip apart ships, and arguably is bigger than like something like General Groudor. But he's the size of my shoe when it comes to pet. And Groudor he at least comes up to your hips in game, and he has the stomp
Oh
sound.
God. If there's any QOL update, please let me turn other players' sounds off.
You can in Runelight. I don't know if I've told you that. You can, because you're one of those players that keeps game sounds on. I am not, so I do not ever hear it. But you can in Runelight. You can turn players' pet sounds off.
I think it's the only one I would turn off, because I think we've discussed it, and I like having like the fletching sounds in the background. It kind of it's like white noise that keeps me from going crazy while I'm bank standing. But when I hear that gets like progressively louder as it gets closer.
It's ridiculous
I'm
that
like,
they gave him a sound.
God Wars, go away.
Yep.
But
yeah, that's my quarrels with the Kraken. It's just too small. I think that's what it boils down to. It's like if he was bigger and it didn't look like they didn't give him the water, like it didn't look like he was still in the water but following you, I would go with it, because literally they took the character model, or they took the NPC model, and they shrunk it down and said, we'll call it a day.
Which I just find such an interesting logic for dislike, because I'm looking right now, and of the boss pets, I see one. I see literally one exception, and that's the Hell Puppy. But every other boss is just a shrunk down version. Like you could argue the pet Dark Core isn't the same, but you can transmog it. You can transmog the Hydra. You can transmog Vedion.
Scorpia?
Yeah.
It's Scorpia's offspring. That one's not shrunk down.
No, Scorpia's offspring is literally what it's just Scorpia.
Oh.
Which actually kind of screws up Runelight, because there are plugins that let you see what pet is what.
Yeah.
Scorpia's offspring are also the name of the little spiders that are inside the den. Yep. So Runelight thinks all the spiders in there are pets. Or not. I guess
you're right.
Scorpions, whatever.
I'm looking at the list now too, and it's like most of them are scaled down. I think the exception there would be Omelet, because we don't actually see the body of Olm. What was the one that you said is not Hell Puppy?
Hell Puppy from Cerberus.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm mad that I got it.
It is small. The water's a little off-putting. I think the Kraken pet's fucking adorable, and I can't wait to get it. But I agree that like they could have put a little bit more thought into just minimizing the model.
And that goes for a lot of other pets too. I think Vorkath, way too small for how big that pet is. There's a lot of other ones that I would say just make it a little bigger, and I would like it.
Yeah, I think pets like Vorkath get a pass just because the dragon, like, it's got a cool model, you know.
He is cool. No, he is cool. He's just a little tiny.
Like Hydra could be the size of like a coin stack, and I'd still think it was an awesome pet. You know.
I think the reason, if I had to give it a concrete reason why I don't like the small ones, is there's so much, like, we'll take Vorkath for instance. The Vorkath pet, he has so much detail that you lose when it's just this tiny blue looking little puppy. That it takes away from the ferocious nature that is Vorkath. Like if he was as big, say, as the Penance Queen, it would look daunting to have that little Vorkath pet following you. Versus now, it's like, oh, I could step on that and it wouldn't hurt me. And then I think that's my ultimate quarrel with the Kraken. It's like the Kraken it's not very daunting in game, but in real life, a Kraken is something to be feared. And when you apply the cute adjective to the Kraken pet, it takes away from the scariness of a level 87 Slayer boss.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a solid list. I'd also like to add as an honorable mention, old pets. Any RS2 pet, so God Wars, Giant Mole, KBD, with the exception of the Calphite Princess, any pet that came out like pre-2008, I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, the models at least.
Yeah, just because the baby mole. Oh my God, the baby mole is so
See,
cute.
that's a pet that I'll give a pass to when people say it's cute, because it is. The mole, the mole boss is cute, and I'm okay with it. I'm perfectly fine with mole being cute. All right, guys. Well, we'd like to now give you our recommendations of the week. In this segment, really, it's just about what we're into this week, whether it's RuneScape related, whether it's not RuneScape related. Because if you're not on RuneScape, it's XP waste, right? Am I right?
True. Listening to this podcast is XP waste. If you're not,
dude, listen out.
If you're not 3 ticking granite, no, if you're not 2 ticking granite, while listening to this podcast,
you're
a disgrace.
Yeah, get better. Log in right now. We'll wait, Oxie. Let's just give him a second. We'll wait for you to log in.
But
they're typing their password. Okay, so you're logged in now. Cool. So recommendations of the week. I have one. I don't know if you've been able to think about it, Oxie, but I'll go first. My rec is, okay, most of you know who Jimmy is in the RuneScape community. Mm-hmm. He has a series called By Release. He's done some promotional stuff for Jagex. Very, very entertaining. He recently came out with a new series called 007.
Yep.
It is phenomenal. My wife, who is not a huge RuneScape fan, she will tolerate it for my sake. I got her watching it with me. And the other night she's like, "Hey, is there any other 007 videos we can watch?" I'm like, "No, he just started it." She's like, "Ah, dang it." So it's good if your non-RuneScape fan wife is asking you about it. So I won't go into too much of the details, but essentially Jimmy got his friend who's never really played RuneScape to start playing RuneScape, and they're playing as if they are a what do they call a group Iron Man in 2007. That's all you need to know. It's about 20 minutes long. Highly, highly recommend it. Let me know if you see me in game or any other way, if you've watched it, if you liked it, because I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've seen it. Definitely a good episode. I'm looking forward to the next ones. My recommendation, I guess it's both a Twitch and a YouTube recommendation. Just Guns Chili. Just everything about Guns Chili. I think I fangirl over that creator way too much. But a couple of weeks ago, I had to quarantine after my buddy's wedding because I wasn't sure about COVID, because it was like a real wedding in COVID season, no mask or anything like that. I was like, all right, I'll get tested just to make sure. And I sat in my room for like 5 days waiting for my test results. And I watched In Debt for a Pet, which is, I think, his biggest YouTube series, start to finish in like 3 days. Like, I was up until I was just hooked. It felt like I was like actually watching real TV. The edits are phenomenal.
Yeah,
and he also
really
streams
good
on Twitch. So the stuff you don't see in the video, you'll see stuff on Twitch like as you're live. Most of it is just viewer interaction, which is, to me, a big part of enjoying a stream, is being able to talk to the viewers.
He is very good at that. He's like, so most big streamers, if you get over 100 viewers, it's hit or miss whether or not you can hold a conversation with them. He's really good at it. Like, he had 300 viewers and was keeping a good conversation with most of them who were chatting. So that is
100% would recommend. It's my recommendation for the week.
Cool.
I think that's it. I think that's all I have.
Nice. Well, guys, thanks for listening. This is our, I don't know, we'll call this episode 0, our pilot episode.
Could be episode 1. If it gets received well, we'll call it episode 1. Sure.
I'm down for that.
We'll go back in like several weeks and this is episode 0. Like, actually, it's
episode 1. Go off the title here, folks. If you're seeing it and it says episode 1, we did well.
Perfect.
So if you want to reach out to us at any point for feedback, we're going to put our Discord link both of our Twitch links and our YouTube channels in the description of this podcast. If you have any feedback, any comments whatsoever, please let us know. We are open to any and all feedback, good or bad, because we need to know. But yeah, thanks guys so much for listening. We'll catch you on the next one.
All right, yeah. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.